Order. Urgent question, Sarah Tether.
Ask the Secretary of State for International Development if she will make a statement on the current situation in Nigeria.
Minister of State, Mr Hugo Swire.
Mr Speaker, the Boko Haram terrorist group continues to wreak havoc across north-east Nigeria. Many colleagues will have seen the press reports over the last week highlighting their latest sickening attacks. Hundreds of people are believed to have been killed in the town of Baga in Borno State last week as Boko Haram continued their bloody insurgency campaign. Suicide bombings in urban areas are also a common feature of Boko Haram's tactics. This weekend, we saw another heinous example in the Yobe state town of Potiskum. These attacks, Mr Speaker, are just the latest example of the insurgents' reign of terror. We believe that more than 4,000 people were killed by the group last year in north-east Nigeria. The United Nations estimates that over 1.5 million people have been displaced by terrorist activities and at least 3 million have been affected by the insurgency. The abductions of the Chibok schoolgirls of the 14th of April last year shocked the world and highlighted the mindless cruelty of Boko Haram. The group deliberately targets the weak and vulnerable, causing suffering in communities of different faiths and ethnicities. It is almost certainly the case that attacks by Boko Haram have killed more Muslims than Christians. 2015 is an important year for Nigeria's future. Presidential and state elections will take place in February. It is crucial that these are free, fair and credible, and that all Nigerians are able to exercise their vote without fear and intimidation. As Minister for the Commonwealth, I responded to the Right Honourable Member for Kirkcaldy and Cowdenbeath, the former Prime Minister, on behalf of the Government in the last debate in this House on this subject. I am grateful to the Honourable Member for Brent Central for asking this timely question that will allow members from across the House to give this important issue the attention it surely deserves.
Sarah Tether.
This weekend saw an inspiring and moving display of international solidarity in the wake of the Paris shootings. But while we were watching the horror unfold in Paris, hundreds, possibly thousands of civilians were slaughtered by Boko Haram in northern Nigeria with very little international attention. While millions poured out onto the streets in Europe in a hopeful, defiant march for peace, thousands of Nigerians fled across the border into Chad in fear of further violence, adding to the tens of thousands who've already fled to Chad, Cameroon and Niger, and the million or so people displaced internally. I visited northern Nigeria with VSO in 2008, as recorded on my register of interest, to see projects working to improve access